Hi everybody, it's Gary and Tim here. We're excited to announce the release of Calendar Girls, the album. It's out on March the 9th.
That's just in time for Mother's Day. You can pre-order the album right now. All the information you need is below.
Right then, this is it, Tim Firth.
Here we go. Here we go.
Have you been on Facebook Live before? You have actually, haven't we? We did our writers' night.
We have. It was quite a night actually. We took over the stage. I think we got the audience to stay behind on the stage of the Phoenix Theatre in the West End.
Well, the bit I loved was not that we stayed behind and did it, was that when we looked to the wings, all the cast had stayed and had a drink.
Yeah, that was quite sweet actually. Yeah,
watched.
Yeah. It was a funny night that, because in a way it made us go back and unearth how we got to here.
I don't think we realised actually how important that night was for us, especially re-looking at the show now, and because it's about to go on tour. It was a good chance.
And also because by the time we set the album, the cast album, which had been recorded, which was just about to be recorded by that stage, we thought, well, this is pretty much the shape of the show that we got.
Yeah.
And the cast album, which was the record of the show, and is the record of the show at that time. But you could see them all in the wings, and they were hearing songs that they'd never sung.
That's right.
Which are part of the show.
And things I'd forgotten about, to be honest. When we had the idea of let's sort of lift the bonnet and let people see inside this show, I'd forgotten so many of those things.
The weird thing is about musicals anyway, is that you start writing these things and then you forget how you get to a certain point. So that we'd ended up with this particular point in the show. If you remember, in the middle of the second act, there's a song called Kilimanjaro, which was all using Kilimanjaro as an image, and musically it's one of the most important points of the show. But it was only going back for that writer's night when you realised, well, that song, that idea came from somewhere. And it came from a tiny tune which actually wasn't in the show anymore. And I remember looking at you, sitting there playing this tune, and I'm thinking, actually, this is, I'm enjoying this. Yeah. And I'm thinking, why did we cut this?
So were the audience.
And
so were the cast.
The cast, I could see them in the wings going, what's this?
Yeah.
And why are we...
That's right.
Why isn't this in the show? Which is kind of curious, really. In many ways, it was the seed. Of that song.
It's probably a good idea for us to say hello to everyone.
Sorry, yes.
And also to see, this is the trouble, when we get together, we get going.
Sorry,
it's good to say that we are here today announcing that after all this time, we've been working very hard on this because we wanted it to be perfect. But the album of Calendar Girls musical is coming out. It's going to be released on Mother's Day.
It is on Mother's Day, which is a fine day.
It's March the 9th.
Perfect day, March the 9th.
Yeah.
But if I think the pre-order is sort of open now, so if you order it now, your Mother's Day worries are taken care of.
Does that mean it'll arrive on...
It will arrive on Mother's Day.
Is
you don't have to do anything else.
Do you know that for sure?
I know it'll arrive in time for Mother's Day. Well, I know it's done because I was there when we signed it off. And then when the recording was made, I know it's ready.
It's definitely ready.
In fact, some people's mothers are on it.
What? Hang on. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that not true?
It's coming out on the 9th, and Mother's Day is the 11th.
Okay, it's coming out on the 9th.
It's coming out on the 9th.
I love that. With the clever.
That is very wise.
You know what? Luckily, they didn't leave it to us to organise this.
No.
We have some clever people.
It would have had a different title if it had been left to us.
We'd have called it The Girls or something.
If it left to you, it would have been your face in there like Teletubbies, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be,
absolutely. I'd have been central, definitely. But, and you'd have been on the back cover. I mean, I'd have kept your space.
Back in my ears.
But listen, it's released on the 9th.
Yes.
Mother's Day's the Sunday, which is the 11th.
Yes.
I knew that.
Yes.
I knew that. I'm just testing that everyone's working around us because we don't want them falling to sleep.
Yes.
So if you order it now, it will definitely arrive.
It'll be there.
It'll be there on your doorstep, through your letterbox.
Yes. And it's a record, absolutely. And it's the show, all the songs, obviously, from that show, but...
Can you remember the night we recorded the show? Was it about... It was the West End,
yes,
wasn't it?
It was the West End version.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that some people's mothers are on that show is that actually I have a feeling that somebody wrote in a couple of days ago asking whether the real Calendar Girls were actually on the album. And of course, the real Calendar Girls are real girls. They're not necessarily performers, but they are on that album because I think we took the choir for when we did the Royal Variety Show, and we do an extra version. There's an extra song on the end. There's a couple of extra tracks.
Right, so Sylvia from Kent asked this question.
It was Sylvia from Kent.
Was it her who asked it?
It was
because
Sylvia
she's
from
asked
Kent.
it again. She really wants to know. She really wants to know this.
It back in.
So what you're saying is there's some bonus tracks on there.
There are.
Of course there is.
Are.
We've got to have a bonus. No one's interested in just the record anymore. We want the bonus. And the bonus is... see, I should have been central on this cover. I'm the bonus tracks. I am the bonus. The bonus tracks. Me singing. There's a couple of tunes as well. We do a duet as well with Joanna.
Yes, there are. So there's a few. And the great thing about Sylvia who, in Kent, is we'll come back later, is that...
are we going to Kent, by the way?
We are going, the show, the tour.
And that's the other thing, is that this show is going to be on tour from August, and I believe, is it on tour for about 60 weeks? It's a long tour.
It's a very long tour. Yeah, it's a long tour. So it's out there for a long time. So there's a wide variety. Canterbury, we're going to Canterbury, and she can actually go to see it in Liverpool or even in Ireland.
Do you know what?
It's a great place to go.
Val from Manchester has asked as well. She wants to see the show again as soon as possible. But will it be opening? Will the show be opening in Manchester? She saw it in Manchester last time.
It was. I mean, it was great in Manchester. Well, some of the best nights we had were in Manchester. I mean,
but it's not opening in Manchester.
I say that because it's not opening in Manchester, because it's a show about Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And the Calendar Girls would rip us limb from limb if we didn't open it in Leeds, so we have to do it there.
Yeah, and also Leeds Grand, I've got to be honest, it's one of my favourites. It really is. And we had a great time because we learnt a lot about... It feels to me like I know it's this show's set in Yorkshire, so we should open it in Yorkshire, but also the Leeds Grand, it just had a special feeling. It's where we first put it in front of an audience.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit of a risk. The first time we went to Manchester was a wee bit of a risk because... we moved out of Yorkshire for the first time into Manchester, and you move across the Pennines, and you open a show with a song called Yorkshire, and you don't know if they're just going to boo, throw stuff at you. But actually, it was even bigger in Manchester, the response, than it was in Yorkshire. But it goes back to its heart.
And I think the point is as well, we are coming to Manchester. We're definitely coming to Manchester. In fact, we're going all over the place. If you don't catch Manchester, you can catch Liverpool.
Oh gosh,
there you go. I mean, we're all over the place.
But it might be an idea, actually, while we're here, that song that seeded Kilimanjaro, because we've not played this. We're literally I think the process of writing this at the moment.
The point is that we wanted to do just something a little special for you today, just because we could have taken the version that was on in the West End and just put it on a stage on the road, but of course we felt like we learned so much from seeing the show on the stage in the West End that we wanted to have a little nip and a tuck, and we found something, didn't we, in our storage cupboard.
In a way, it's slightly something that we discovered via the last Facebook Live. Really, was that song that was so important to the genesis of Kilimanjaro as a tune. We sat there and looked at each other and thought, why isn't this in the show? And we have the chance now to see whether it works in the show. We'll workshop the show again. So the truth is, like with musicals, they're a constant writing process. Even though the show's been on and has and has worked in its previous form, that doesn't mean that you stop working at it. So here, I mean, literally our new lyrics. See those stars down the side? Yeah. Actually means that this is all brand new, so we're just literally writing these at the moment.
And we've got a verse and a little chorus section.
How far do you want to do? Just
let's go through to the end of the first chorus.
Let's see how far we get.
So if I'm playing Chris, you can play Annie.
So this is this song.
This could be, I mean, a nod to our future, which will be in Panto. Clearly, after this work we're doing, that we're both playing a woman.
Yes,
we are,
and
we both love Blackpool anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And
so there might be a future there somewhere. Someone watching this might be putting a panto on and think they fancy a couple of guys who used to be good.
Well, we should do New Brighton, because I can still get home at night from New Brighton. That'd be great. New Brighton, the Pavilion at New Brighton. So this, if you imagine, this is quite early on in the story, and this is a whole new area where the girls are sort of singing about why they joined the WI in the first place.
Yeah.
And
I'm Chris.
And I'm Annie.
Great.
Good night from me.
Here we go. Once upon a time, there was a little swot called Annabelle, who knew just what an Annabelle should be.
Right, this won't be true, okay.
She grew up on a village green, her pencil case was very clean, a ponytail she's had since she was 3.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
One day this extremely cool girl turned up from another school, scoured the class and shouted, "Right, you lot, I'll need to copy answers. Who's the SWAT?"
Okay, that isn't how it happened. Okay, this is how it happened. Okay. Once this scary girl turned up from another school. Okay, her name was Chris. Okay, not Christine. Okay, not Chris. Okay.
I didn't talk like that.
She'd seen it all and done it all, cause she'd grown up in Bradford. She drunk vermouth and had her first French kiss.
That's true, okay. The teacher says, "So tell us, Chris, where Mount Kilimanjaro is." I go, "Oi, let's have it, ponytails." She looks at me and whispers,
It's in Wales.
"It's in Wales, miss."
And this is how it starts, same way that it ends. The state of war that people in the north call being friends. The insult and the injury, the twisting of the knife. The mockery that makes you someone else's rock for life. And so the little nerd, the little punk princess, became the girl who zipped me in my wedding dress. You and me, you and me. And then we go on to all that's all we've done at the moment. But then all the other girls will gradually have their moment, and we'd find a little bit about how long these girls have been friends, because that's sort of really important to the story.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anybody's got any other lyric ideas for the girls? Just
Also, I love the relationship between Chris and Annie. I think you look at those two, and you want a friend like that. They're brilliant friends. In fact, we've got another question here. Jessica, I love the show in London. Can I play Chris or Annie?
Well, it's not too late. Jessica is the answer to that. It's not too late. I mean, the truth is that we had this fabulous cast in London, which we all loved. Of course, you reinvent the show, you reinvent everything. We're looking again at the way that it's designed, the way it's orchestrated, new songs, and of course a brand new cast. Now we have the most extraordinary cast.
We're gonna announce the cast now.
We can't say, because I think some of the cast don't yet know that they've been cast. So
Is that right?
No,
Really?
we've got to ring them up after
What are we
this.
doing here then?
So,
We can't announce the cast.
We
We can't
know,
announce the dates.
but they are absolutely extraordinary. We've got a most amazing mix of cast.
The cast announcement though is next week.
We're going to tell you next week, so it's very, very imminent.
Yeah.
So we're going to tell the cast they've been cast, and then we're going to tell everybody else.
I tell you what, I've got to be honest, Ant and Deck, look out, because we're doing well here.
We are. No,
very well.
No, it's great. It's in a way, looking at the great thing about the tour list is that also we're playing anywhere that will have us as in terms of the story. There's the way that the show is configured now means that we're playing Sunderland, Woking, Sheffield, Oxford, all the big theatres, and Bristol and Birmingham, but also some of the smaller theatres as well, which is really important for us.
And it's exciting because obviously we're in those places with the band at the moment, and we see the audiences. Oh wow, it's incredible. To go and it's a thrill for me to go and watch that show, and to know that the Calendar Girls is going to hit there as well. I just feel like it's made for those theatres.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, another question come in. Here we go. Rose from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
That's the White Rose of Yorkshire.
Yeah.
If there was a male version of Calendar Girls, would you be brave enough to appear in it?
Well, I have to be honest, everyone, that I've been recently on a cruise with Tim Firth. I've seen him in his swimming shorts and braces, and it was quite a scene. It was quite a scene.
I got quite a lot of
There's
Twitter.
a lot of fuss.
Big Twitter following.
You're not even on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter, but I've been told that I've got a big Twitter following.
Yes, I think if we were in it, go on, you do.
Well, I can't. The truth is, I don't think there are props that would cover.
Really?
No.
Really?
No.
Can I have a double bass instead of a cello over here?
Considerably bigger piano.
Yeah.
I think
a Bosendorfer.
Yeah, absolutely.
A Bosendorfer wouldn't suffice.
Concert. Yes,
Concert.
No, concert Bosendorfer. The truth is, the answer is probably no. The bravery that it takes the original girls to do this was quite an extraordinary thing, and even they have said to us that we did it in our friends' front room to do it in some of these theatres, Leicester, Llandudno, Salford, Stoke, all these places in front of thousands of people is a completely different deal. So
especially Llandudno. I mean,
it's
cold.
The wind that comes in.
It comes straight in from the North Sea. You don't want to be messing with that. No, the Irish Sea.
It's
the North Sea's warmer.
Well, the truth is, in London, it only comes over the road because you're practically in the sea.
Yeah.
In London, no. It's the only
that's-
theatre where you can go and have a dip in the sea during the interval.
It's going to be cold.
It's going to be very cold, yes.
The bravery is
warmer
brilliant.
in Oxford and Dublin,
Yeah,
I would have
yeah.
said. But no.
There's another question here. Helen, what is your favourite track on the new album? Well, probably should we answer this each, because we probably have different ones.
Go on then.
Because I was going to clearly say my tracks are the the climax
there's
of
a
the
reason
whole.
those are at the end.
I love Kilimanjaro. I think that's great. Did you know I climbed Kilimanjaro? Well,
It's very high,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's
very high.
Is
Yeah.
that how you got your Blue Peter badge?
No, but if I already had it, they would have got me one. That would, but I already had
you
it, and they
take
don't
it-
give them in twos. You only
Did you
get
not get
no.
all?
You only
No.
get it once.
Oh, well.
But that is my favourite.
If you show your Blue Peter badge at the bottom of Kilimanjaro, is there a lift?
I'm trying
that
to
only
be. I'm trying to be serious here.
Sorry, okay, it's,
Yeah.
it's tough, isn't it? It's really tough.
So Kilimanjaro. Just the point of the show that's in. It's such a, you willing her to get back on her feet. And
Well,
it's such a
what you
gorgeous
just
moment.
what you just sang. I mean, it starts as a joke between two friends, and the reason that I'm looking at putting this back in is because it starts as the reason that they've first fought,
Yes.
which becomes the reason that they realise they've got a shared sense of humour,
Yeah.
which then becomes a metaphor for an insurmountable thing, a thing that you have to, well, as you know, takes a huge effort to conquer, which of course she's going to find emotionally in her life. So effectively, Kilimanjaro starts as a joke and becomes a metaphor, and the source of that whole song. I love it. I love it. It's also that there's a song called Scarborough, which I adore hearing.
Have
every
you
time I
been to
hear it.
Scarborough?
I started my theatre career in Scarborough.
Did
yes,
you
at
really?
The Alan Ayckbourn Theatre, the Stephen Joseph Theatre in the Round. So I know Scarborough very well.
Okay.
And they don't take prisoners in Scarborough.
Right.
No, they just,
so you get the truth.
You absolutely get the truth.
It's pretty. I mean, that's the north, really, isn't it? You get the truth wherever you go.
Well, yeah. Well, legendarily, and of course, you're very clear. That's a theatre in the Round, so there's no
That's it.
there's no divide between you and the theatre. So I mean, famously, I remember sitting in not my play, but another play where a woman in the front row. It was as close as I am to you, to one of the actors who was delivering this heartfelt monologue, and he watched her, and she just went. She took off her glasses, and she folded it like that, and then like that, and then opened her glasses case and put it back in, and she went to her friend. Oh, well, I'm fed up now. Now that's a bad review. He was only halfway through the monologue. So anyway, I have been to Scarborough, and Scarborough is it's a very, very beautiful place. But also, it's what I love about it is that very rarely do you get English place names
Yeah.
used in songs.
Yeah.
We don't mythologise our place names in the same ways. The
Yeah.
Americans will sing regularly about towns and cities in America, but
Yeah.
we don't. And actually, I was looking at that song originally with all different lyrics and had much fancier titles
Yeah.
that I was going to put to it. In the end, I thought, no, you know what? And actually, every time I see it up there, I see Scarborough, I
it's
just
lovely.
smile.
I know, it's lovely.
So another.
Another question. Do you have a favourite memory of when you're writing this musical? I do, Tim Firth. I do, and it's very relatable to this week in particular. That we wrote a lot of this at my mum's house. Tim turned up, and he said, "Brilliant! It's what a treat to be able to sit and write this musical. At your mum's house with a cup of tea and a packet of biscuits." I said, well, there's a catch. I said, the next 3 days I'm only eating green food. So everything I eat has to be green. I then delivered Tim his first meal of the day, which I'd christened slop.
Yes.
So you can imagine what it looks like. It's basically spinach, coconut oil, mint, bit of avocado, whizzed. Bzzz, and then in a bowl handed to Tim Firth. Can you imagine his face?
It was like Oliver, wasn't it?
I think the funny thing was, after an hour you were like, I might leave you to it now to work on that, and you backed away out the house and off you went.
No, the great thing was that I sat there watching you drink this whipped up marsh grass, and I was sitting playing here, and then I turned round and I'd found that your mum had brought in a plate of digestive biscuits, which is just there. That's for you, and then she went out.
Yeah. Oh, she's used to it. Now listen, we should go out on a bang.
Yes.
Should we?
Well, this is one of my favourites in answer to a previous question.
Yeah.
It's a song that came in very late, actually. In fact, the whole musical was written. We'd done the workship up in the village in Burnsall.
Yep.
and we realised that we were missing a song, and Dare kind of came in under our fingers, really.
Thanks for tuning in, and take it away, Tim Firth.
Find the rules you knew and break them. Find the road you knew, don't take them. Whatever's telling you no, whatever's changing your mind, there's a courage you'll only ever find is there if you dare. Just for once, don't stop and stare. Spread your wings and trust the air. When you feel you've gone too high, keep climbing if you dare. Take it all one step too far, then look down at where you are. There are views you only share if you dare. Take the parachutes and cut them. Find the exit routes and shut them. Whoever's talking you down, whoever's pressing your brake, there's a road you will